Hi there, my name is Russ Lagan. I'm Vice President of Growth for eXp Realty. And today, instead of doing a normal eXp Explained, where I tell you all about eXp, I want to talk to you about you and your business. See, because really it is about you. So when I start this conversation, I always want to start this conversation out real simple. Like, where are you at now? Right. So right now, what I'd like you to do is grab a piece of paper and or a computer or grab your cell phone and in your notes. And I want you to write down a couple things like what's working for you now? What's not working for you? What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? How much money are you making currently? How many houses did you sell in the last year? Like, where are you right now in the business? Make out a list, write out a list, because it's really important that you're clear on where you are in this business to be able to figure out where you want to go in this business, right? So part A is where are you at now? Part B is where do you want to be? Right? Because what I find is when I start this conversation and I ask this person, they tell me where they are. And a lot of times they tell me a lot of things that they don't like, right? So the question then becomes like, where do you want to be? What do you want this to look like? So once we can get really clear on where you are and where you want to be, then how we get there becomes a lot easier. So if I can show you 2 or 3 things that help you go from there to there right now that are doable for you, would you want to do that? And most of the time they say, yes, that makes sense. That's what I want, right? So the key is to make sure that we're clear on where we want to be also. What do you want your business to look like? What do you want to do? How many hours do you want to work? So when we're working through these conversations, what I find is that almost everybody will fit somewhere on this curve that I built. Okay. You're either in phase 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 across the board. By the way, if you're not in real estate, you're probably in one of these phases also if you're in the work world, right? The first phase in most people's business is I need to generate cash. Almost everything I'm doing is how do I make enough money? How do I make the amount of money that I want to make? So when we're talking through this guy right here, I'll say, where are you at now? How much money are you currently making? And then this guy over here, how much money do you want to be making? What I hear all the time is people, real estate agents, if they're not making 100K, they want to make $100,000 a year. So if that's you, you're still in this first phase. If you want to make 300 and you're not there, you're still in this phase, first phase, right? So in this first phase, we've got to start saying, okay, what do I need to do to get there, right? What do I need to do? What do I need to do that's things that I'm willing to do to get there? And that's why this guy is important. What am I willing to do to get there? So if I could show you how to build a business doing stuff that you enjoy to become this guy, would you do that? The answer is yes. Okay. So we could show you a couple of ways to do that in phase 1. Once we get through phase 1, then phase 2 becomes really important. So I get people that are at $200,000 and $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year that I'm talking to. And I say, okay, so what do you want? So, do you want to make more money? No, not really. It's not about the money. For them, the most important thing becomes time. So once you get to that point where the money number is pretty much handled, or you're making more money than you really need to make, or more than you originally anticipated to make, the next thing becomes your time. So these people, I'll go, okay, if you could work less evenings and weekends and make the same amount of dollars, would you like that? Yeah, heck yeah. That's huge, right? If you could make more money and work less hours, would you like that? And most of the time they're like, yeah, heck yeah, right? So are you in this phase right now where time is more important than money? You don't want to give away the money, but you also want to get that time back in balance. If that's you, got a couple of things for you there. Then the next part of this is, how long do I have to do this for? It's like, when did I get the time and the money in balance? Then the next question then becomes like, how do I not have to do this? So what are the things that I need to do to be able to not have to do this every single day? And I'm not saying you quit your job, but what I'm simply saying is you get to the point where you have enough dollars to make it through the end of the year or the end of the life. More likely. That's a true freedom point, right? So when you get to the point where you have enough residuals or you have enough cash stashed to be able to not have to do this anymore, there's a sense of freedom. I don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I want to do this. At that point, you can choose to either exit the business or you can choose to keep on going and live with that amount of freedom. So then people go, well, Russ, I got the time, I got the money, everything's in balance. I don't have to do this anymore. So, but I'm not done yet. And what excites those people typically is going to be building your legacy. So if you've got yourself taken care of, then you start thinking, how do I do things to influence other people? Because I don't want to stop working. I still want to keep doing stuff, but now I can start focusing on building my legacy. My legacy is the things that I do that give back, that help other people take their business to the next level. That's building your legacy. The people that I can influence because this business has been great to me will change the way they do business and help them move through this curve. The people that are helping people move through this curve are building their legacy. See, I don't want people to struggle like I struggled in the beginning. So if I can help other people get to this point, I love that. It excites me. That's part of why I do what I do now, to make a difference in other people's lives. So I am building my legacy in the current role that I'm in. And some of you guys are at that point where you're like, yeah, I want to build a legacy too. We've got a couple ways to do that here at eXp. Then once those people have built their own legacy, they say, you know what? My name is going to live on past me. And because of the things I did, other people's families are changed and their grandchildren's families are changed. Then we've got people saying, how do I help other people build their legacy? I've already got my legacy. Now I want to help you build a legacy. And I heard this beautifully said by one of our top people that have already built their legacy. And they said something like, my goal is to help 100 other people have what I have. First legacy is me building my legacy. Second legacy is helping you build your legacy. First one's internal focus. Second one's external focus, helping you build your legacy. So you got to figure out where you are on that curve. Then we can go over to this list here and say, okay, if I'm in one, and the majority of you guys are going to be in one, do you have the parts and pieces to be able to help us get there? Yeah, sure. So a couple simple answers. You want to get more sales? Jump into our Kickstart program. Helps agents get more sales immediately. Starts the process of getting more sales. If you want to get more sales, Fast Cap program we just started recently is how do you get to your cap fast? Okay. There's two ways you can make more money in this business. One is to actually spend less dollars, which is where commissions come in. We've got fair competitive commissions for a lot of our agents. They come over here and sell the same amount of houses. They actually spend less dollars, particularly our higher producing agents. When they come over here, they actually spend substantially less dollars by being here. So you can spend less money on the sales that you do, or you can add sales to your repertoire. So if you're at 2 or 3 sales and you want to get to 20, these two programs will help you do that. Having a mentor and coaching and collaboration in university will help you do that. There's a list of things that you can pick and choose from at eXp to help you take your business to the next level and help you get to this spot. So that's phase 1, okay? Phase 2, on the time thing. Of course, we've got the technology that helps you save a bunch of time. We've got masterminds. Like, how are other people doing it, not working 70 hours a week? Masterminds that work in that. Of course, our CRM is a big part of helping being able to do that. You want to drive more business, have more consistency, have better conversion rates. Conversion rates actually help you work less time. Better conversion means you can sell the same amount of houses, working less time. CRMs do that. Of course, being cloud-based means you don't have to drive to an office. We also have the ability to have broker support in eXp World. So instead of having to fumble around trying to find answers, you can go to eXp World. You can ask our concierge at the front, say, hey, I'm stuck on something. Where do I go? And they'll direct you to the solution where you can talk to a live human to help you solve your problems. Very rarely do I have to wait more than a minute or two to talk to a live human in almost any of the departments I've been to in eXp World. And trust me, I go in there on occasion because I don't know everything either. Okay, so saving time is a big component of this game. It's the amount of dollars you make per hour really makes a difference when you're spending way less time working on making the same amount of money or making more money. Then, of course, the third phase is freedom. A lot of people get stuck on this, and you might notice I haven't talked about doing recruiting yet, right? People say eXp is just about recruiting. Actually, eXp is about selling houses and doing it in less time and making more money. And by the way, while you're doing that, in the course of doing that, we have the ability to get stocks during that process. So when you sell your first house, you get a stock grant. When you hit your cap, you get a stock grant. If you attract an agent to the company, you get a stock grant when they close their first sale. You also have the ability to invest 5% in yourself. So if you can invest 5% in yourself, and eXp will sell you the stock at a 5% discount, that's helping you get to that freedom point faster. Think about it. If you're not currently earning stocks doing what you're already doing, these are a byproduct of doing what you're already doing. This helps you accelerate and get to that freedom point faster. Then, of course, the last one is revenue sharing. For those agents that are out and about doing sales, a lot of people say, well, Russ, revenue share is not for me. So, okay, great. Here's how most people look at revenue share. They look at revenue share saying, hey, well, I do houses. I trade time for money selling houses. And I don't want to be a recruiter and have a second bucket. I don't have to do that second bucket doing recruiting. And I'll tell you, don't. For most of you guys, don't. For some of you guys want to do that, knock yourself out. There's a ton of income to be generated from that, a ton of residual income to be generated from that. What I want you guys to start thinking is, instead of looking at it as a separate business, what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking, in the process of selling houses, there's going to be real estate agents that I bump into in the process of selling houses. We can show you 2 or 3 things to help leverage them. And when they say, hey, what are you doing? Where are you at on the curve? And how did you get here on the curve? Let me show you. Come along with me. Use this as a byproduct, as an overflow. So when this bucket is overflowing, that gets caught in that second bucket. Okay, so instead of just losing it and having no ability to generate that, this second bucket helps you generate income. So now I've got this bucket generating income and this bucket generating income. For most of you guys, this can be a byproduct of you selling houses. This is attraction through production. So if you want to talk about accelerating to that freedom, this gives you the ability to accelerate to that freedom. Think about it. If you just had an extra 1,000, 2 or 3 coming in every month, it makes a big difference in people's lives and their ability to get to this freedom moment. Think about having your house payment paid every single month. Does that accelerate you to this freedom moment? That's what that's for, okay? If you want more information on that, we got a ton more info on that. So think of it as a byproduct of what we're already doing. And then the last thing is, of course, legacy. In the process of doing this consistently, you can have that revenue sharing really add up over time. And that's what a lot of our people have done in building that legacy, helping other people build their legacy and helping other people get to where they've got. And of course, you've got the revenue sharing and stocks that help along with building revenue share. And of course, helping others with anywhere in this process. Anybody that's behind you on this curve will help you build that legacy. Here's the beauty of eXp. In the process of selling houses, you have the ability to put more cash in your pocket, a couple different directions, sell more homes, a couple different directions. We have the tools to help you do that. Also the tools to help you get your time in balance. In the process of doing those two things, it helps accelerate you to that freedom moment. All of these things help accelerate you to that freedom moment that are built right into the program. And then, by the way, as you're doing this, you can also start this helping other people as you go through and helping out building that legacy. So there's what eXp really is all about. It's not just recruiting. It's about selling a bunch of houses, living a good life, getting towards that freedom moment, and then taking your business to the next level while helping other people take their business to the next level. If you do that, you should be rewarded for that and get to that finish line a little faster. If you want to have more information on any of these things, I know it's a lot. There's a ton of detail on each one of these individual subjects. If you'd like more info on that, reach out to the person that sent you this video, or you can hit up growth.team@exprealty.net, growth.team@exprealty.net, and we'll connect you with one of us on the growth team that can help walk you through this, figure out where you are and how you're going to get to where you want to be. There's eXp explained my way. I hope you see yourself somewhere in here and we can help you move through that curve. I'm Russ Lagan. See you guys next time.